Hey there, I'm Carrie, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, also known as Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. Now, if you are wanting technical information on the sonnets, kind of a format, structure, rhyme and meter type thing, I've made a separate video on that, so I'll link that in the video notes and you can learn all about that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do in this video is read through the entire sonnet. So if you just need to listen to it for class, that'll be right up front. Then I'll go back and break it down line by line, cover any vocabulary, kind of get to what this older English means, and talk a little bit about theme and symbolism and things like that. I've got timestamps in the video notes, so scroll down, click around, find exactly what it is you need. All right, let's get into Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines in time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So that's the whole thing. Let's go back and talk a little bit of theme and then get back into the words of the poem. So this is what's called a fair youth sonnet. Now, there's 154 sonnets, Shakespearean sonnets, 154 of those total, and a big group of them are addressed to someone called the fair youth. Who we think this is kind of a young man, kind of a guy about town. He's just on the cusp of young adulthood. That is kind of how I see the theme of the poem. It is celebrating physical beauty, but also youth and health and vitality, that kind of feeling of invincibility, this kind of golden years, this golden stage of life. Okay, so let's get back into it and go line by line here. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So this is exactly what it sounds like. Is a summer's day a good way to describe you? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So the poet is answering his own question there. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? No, not really, because you're better than that. You're more beautiful and more temperate. Temperate means even-keeled. If a place has a temperate climate, it means it's always nice. It's never too cold. It's never too warm. It's never stormy, nasty, gloomy. It's just always pretty nice. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Darling buds of May, those are like the spring and summer flowers. So he's saying, like, when storms come along, it can ruin nature's beauty. It can, knock all the flowers off of their stems and everything, but that doesn't happen to you. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. Lease is exactly like we use it today. You lease a house or you lease a car. You've reserved a time when you are in possession of that thing. So it's saying summer's lease, summer's time is way too short. It has a definite beginning and it has a definite end. All too short a date means it ends quickly. It's over too fast. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines. It's talking about the sun. Sometimes it's too hot and it's not a very pleasant day because it's scorching and you're sweating. And often is his gold complexion dimmed. That's talking about the sun again, and it's saying some days are too hot and some days it's overcast and it's gloomy, it's dreary outside, and it's not very pretty. So that is one of the ways that the object of the poem, the subject of the poem, is better than a summer's day, because that person is always beautiful and always wonderful, and summer days sometimes are not. And every fair from fair sometimes declines. So when it says and every fair, that means like every beautiful thing, every beautiful person. From fair sometime declines. At some point, the beauty fades. By chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. Chance means like accident or illness. Nature's changing course untrimmed means the natural passage of time. So for a human being, that would mean like the natural lifespan. You have childhood, you have youth, young adulthood, older adulthood, and old age. You naturally follow that path. Or for summer, you have the natural ending. Naturally, summer comes to a close and it goes into autumn. So we lose the beauty of summer to the cooler temperatures of autumn. But thy eternal summer shall not fade. So that means like eternal summer means like youth. Your youth and beauty shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. What that means is you won't lose what you have. You're always going to be beautiful. You'll always have that beauty. And this line, ost, means own. The speaker has kind of forced the words to suit the structure of iambic pentameter, which has 10 syllables per line. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. You'll see he does it again in that one. Wanderest becomes wandrest. To make it suit the correct number of syllables for iambic pentameter. So what that line means is you're not going to die. Death is not going to possess your beauty. When in eternal lines to time thou growest. That means that I'm going to write about you in this poem and you're going to be immortalized in the poem. So your beauty will never die. It will never be forgotten. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this. Speaking of the poem. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So that means like as long as people can read, as long as the written word endures, you will be immortalized. Your beauty will be safe because I am going to preserve it right here in the words of this poem. It will last forever. All right, that's about all I've got on Sonnet 18. I hope some of that was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when the next story or poem becomes available. If you had a different story or poem in mind or a particular author that you're interested in, drop that in the comments and I will see what I can do. Best of luck to you, and I'll see you in the next chapter.